up, party people? Welcome to the Sidekick Show. We've got some special guests with us, and we are missing somebody. You can probably figure out who it is. But I got my brother here, Chris O here, filling in, and we've got special guests Sarah and Gord here, and we're going to be talking about Top Gun. So if you're watching this on the replay, we are live every Monday at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please tune in for the live show. We'd love to get you in the chat. We've got a couple people in there. I see Lewis. I see Frazier. I see Cool Gamer. What's up, Cool Gamer? Yeah, Flash and Fury. We got Flash and Fury in the house. The call signs are in full effect. So one of the coolest things about this movie. So let's get into it. So if you haven't tuned in the Sidekick Show lately, we like to kick it off with how was your weekend? So I feel like I haven't talked to you guys, and we just came off a long weekend. I guess we're still in the long weekend. So Chris Ho, how was your weekend? Did you get to check out anything new? Watch any new shows, or did you watch Chip and Dale?
I did not watch it. I watched that movie.
Sneakerella. You watched Sneakerella, right?
That either. No, that's a really high.
It's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, apparently, it looks really corny to me, but yeah, I watched that Michelle Yeoh movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. That thing was crazy. Yeah. Crazy movie. Like,
yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I believe Sarah and Gord have watched it. Do you agree with Chris's assessment of just crazy as a good descriptor?
Yeah, you can't really describe it. It is what it is. I wish someone had told me it was about a mother and daughter before I started watching that, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets pretty emotional at the end, but yeah, it's like after the movie's over, I'm thinking in my head, like, how did this movie get made? Like, how do you pitch this movie to somebody? Exactly. And they go, "Oh, sounds great. Let's give you some money and make it." It's just like totally random stuff like happening at all times. It's actually quite funny at times too, and there's some good action too. So I would recommend it. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's on streaming now or dropping very soon. So if you haven't caught it, folks, and I think you can still catch it in the theaters. No TV, Chris? You have not watching any like We Own This City or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm keeping up on that. It's basically Wire 2.0. The Wire 2.0 is actually quite interesting to watch, but it requires a lot of your attention to kind of hold on to like where the different settings and the time jumps everywhere. And like
I'm like taking notes. I'm like, well, this guy was here doing this, did this, and like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I'm catching up on some comedies. I just started watching the second season of Hacks, which is actually a really funny TV show. Comedy basically, but yeah, check it out. HBO Max, I believe it's on.
Yeah, I feel like HBO Max is like MVP. Sarah Gord, how was your weekend? What did you guys get up to?
Went running a lot.
Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah,
really which I like those kind of weekends.
I made the joke that I was gonna do some running too, but you guys took it all up, so there was none left. I went to go get some, and they were like, "We're all out." Sarah and Gord took all that shit.
We binge watched season 2 of Made for Love that came out.
Okay.
So that was pretty good.
We fell asleep on the last episode.
I know. Ray Romano's in it. I like Ray Romano. So.
Yeah, that was good.
Well, it matters how many episodes you watch in a row. If you fell asleep towards the end and you watch all of it in one sitting,
that's exactly what happened.
We lost that last half hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been finishing off. I know this is old, but I've been finishing off season 4 of Vikings, which has just taken a couple of weeks, but it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's concluded, right?
Yeah, that's the end of it because now they've come out with Viking Valhalla, which is like a few generations later. And so before I hopped into that one, I wanted to finish off the whole Ragnar Lothbrok storyline.
Yeah.
So far,
have you ever come across those places that make Viking bread? Has that ever tempted you? Like it's like a big giant loaf.
Bread? Oh, it's a giant loaf?
Yeah, it's like this giant like baked bread. I feel like I've seen it in Scarborough Town a lot and stuff like that.
There's a place at Vaughan Mills called Danish Pastry House, and they have something called the Viking Slice, which is like this square donut square, and it has like custard in it, and that's like the best thing. Every time I pass by, I go get one of those.
Well, there's one in the Eaton Center, so we should try that.
All right, so we'll put that next on the list when we should bring back. Ooh, wait, what's up, Butters?
Nope, Butters is over here.
I was like, wait, was he white and orange or okay? Anyways, So what if we bring back our food taste testing? We should definitely hit up the Viking Slice because it always tempts me. I walk past it every time, Chris, and I'm like, I should get that, but I don't know. It looks too intense. It looks too intense. A lot of people said they watched Chip and Dale. I got that recommendation a couple times. It's available on Disney Plus.
Like strippers?
As well as no, Sarah, no, not on Disney Plus. They would maybe put that on HBO Max. The story of Chippendales, but Chippendale Rescue Rangers, which I think is a lot of fun. A lot of cameos. I tuned in for a second. I saw Paula Abdul and the cat from that music video back in the day. So I definitely want to check that out. I actually read a book, or I cheated and not read a book. I listened to an audiobook. Chris, do you have an idea of what book it might be?
Oh, no idea.
Autobiography. Yeah. So Simu Liu dropped his autobiography, We Were Dreamers, and he popped on IG Live and was talking about it and read a passage from it, and I was like, this sounds interesting. So I picked it up on the audiobook, and I went through the whole thing in one day. Just kind of had it in my ear. It's like 8 hours, so you kind of just listen to it between stuff. Wow. But it was a lot of fun. So you guys are
narrating it? Is it him narrating it?
Yeah, he narrates it himself. Yeah. So a lot of shout outs to him growing up in Toronto and how his family came, how he was kind of sent over from China to Canada, all this kind of crazy stuff, and how he got into acting and all this audition process, and how he became Shang-Chi and Kim's Convenience, all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, then definitely check it out. And it is always a bonus when the author reads their own book. So definitely check that out. Thanks everybody. So let's talk a little bit about, I was going to bring up the new stuff for the store, but I thought Rob was going to be here. So I thought we were going to be short on time. So I didn't I didn't pull it. So I just said, so check out the Instagram. All the new releases are posted on our Facebook and Instagram, Heroes World Online. So definitely follow us there and let us know whatever you need. And we'll be back next week with some new releases and other cool kind of fun stuff to check out. I did ask my brother Chris Ho to fill in and maybe grab some news that we can kind of chat about and get your thoughts.
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing floating around right now is this Amber Heard Johnny Depp defamation suit, and just all the different things coming out of it. I guess the more comic related thing is that it came out that her part was really cut in Aquaman 2. Like they kind of cut it down to like maybe a few scenes, maybe less than 10 minutes apparently. Also, her contract didn't get renewed, and like I did hear something about like she almost got replaced because of bad chemistry. So like I think it's a little damage control on the Aquaman 2, just kind of maybe getting ahead of this thing, kind of maybe oh yeah, she's in it, but she's not really. Come see it anyways, please. And then it's kind of like a sideshow. Have you guys been following it closely?
Yeah. Let's not get into the kind of politics of like, but I think we can get into the entertainment aspect of it. Like, how crazy of a circus is this? Gord's pointing to Sarah. So Sarah, what do you think? This is crazy, right?
I woke up to like, oh my God, you got to see what's happening.
Well, what is it? One of the witnesses or the expert witness for Amber Heard's team, that psychiatrist, and he's just like making these weird, like,
that was
like
weird.
What? Like, and then just seeing Johnny Depp's reaction to things, like he's just kind of like, and then like moves forward to see what he's doing. Like it's just really, like behavior. It's insane. And just, I love Camille. Like I have the biggest girl crush on Camille. Like the way she speaks and how prepared she is just, oh my God. I want to learn how she speaks and be able to present the way she does.
Yeah. So I'm not following the entire trial because holy crap, it's long, right? And there's a lot of like nitty gritty stuff. So if this is a lesson on kind of like how long these things take and all the tedious stuff they have to go through, I feel like you can take all this footage and run a class on it.
Objection.
Yeah. Hearsay.
On your own witness. Yeah.
I'm waiting for these clips from Liar to kind of get spliced where he's like I object, and he's like, that's devastating to my case. There's I don't know. I'm like, this is nuts. So yeah, if we were talking about entertainment factor in a reality show that isn't a reality show but definitely feels like it should be, this is insane. So
hey, you guys remember COVID?
Yeah. This definitely like just takes everybody's mind off it. Like,
Ukraine, and not to belittle Ukraine, but it was like Ukraine, and then this case shows up, and now everybody's just, it's kind of sad how quickly our attention span has been overrun by this. But it is entertaining.
Yeah. If it's some type of strategy of theirs to just create this entertainment piece, then wow, kudos to them. But I suspect, sadly, it is not. So, we won't get too into it. So, Chris, anything else happened? That's
I think another big thing, and you guys didn't do a reaction to it, so maybe get your reactions now. But was the SheHulk trailer? Did you guys end up watching that? And
SheHulk? No.
I saw it.
Yeah.
I'm
I
excited
don't
for
know.
that.
It
I
doesn't.
like all these Disney Plus shows. You guys know I have a very low bar for a lot of the content. I see the good in all of it, even though there are massive plot holes and all
Yeah,
the rest.
but
yeah,
this one, yeah.
I'll say this. It looks. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'll say it looks fun.
Okay. Not a good sell. Not a good sell.
I think as Canadians, we all like the actress. I think it's
Yeah.
Tatiana Maslany from Orphan Black. You know, we like her a lot. We give her a lot of rope here, but I think the CG was just. I know you're not getting movie quality CG, but it looked pretty silly to me. Yeah, kind of on. I'm no expert, but yeah, I think that was the general consensus online was that.
Yeah. I think it's getting eviscerated online. A lot of people not digging it. But I think they maybe are going for like a really animated looking character. So I don't know if they're going for the hyper realistic tone. But you're gonna watch, Gord?
Yeah, because I'm a whore for content. That's why you guys have me here, because I'll watch just about anything. I might regret it after the fact, but
Story of your life.
for now, why not?
I think a lot of people expect they're expecting the movie quality style. You know, we watched before even there are any TV shows in this universe. We had 20 or so movies, and then we had Endgame, and then now we're getting TV shows, and we're expecting that quality, and it kind of dips because it's TV, right? It's not going to have the same production quality and things like that. I think
Hulk does look semi-comical a lot of times, and I started to rewatch Infinity War because everyone just raves about it. Thanos does look kind of questionable in some of the scenes.
Grimace.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And sometimes his arms look a little too short, and they're kind of like change like lengths. It's a little weird. I just noticed it this time when I was rewatching it.
Because you're focused too much on the gauntlet.
Yeah.
The rest of the arm looks weird.
Yeah. It's a little different. So I'm definitely gonna cut it some slack. So, Chris,
First time I watched the trailer, I thought like I wasn't getting full resolution. I thought
it was like loading, like when you
4K, right? What's going on here?
It can't be that bad. And I watched it again, and then I like halfway through, I was like, "No, I'm gonna go check this out on a different YouTube channel." And then I was like, "Oh, all right, well, okay, I guess that's what we're getting."
That's
They've done. Listen, Loki was really good. Like that was a good. All the animation was good. All in all, I thought that show was the best so far.
Yeah, it's supposedly their highest rated show, I think.
Yeah,
right? or most watched.
And WandaVision was right behind it. I thought that one was amazing. And there wasn't that much animation in Hawkeye, so I was like, cool, they're saving budget. Makes sense,
Yeah.
And then now this one, kind of can't do it without having a giant animated.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
because in the movies, Ruffalo's all Hulk in the movies all just CG with Ruffalo's face, right? So maybe they're trying to do the same thing. It's just not. It didn't get caught over or didn't translate as well in the trailers. It might, but I'm gonna watch it too, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. They got us anyways. It's fine. What else you got, Chris?
I guess I'm a big trailer guy. I watch a lot of trailers, so I kind of just gathered some of those up, and then today they released the trailer for Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1, which is an interesting thing. I guess there's going to be 2 parts in this thing, so you're going to get a cliffhanger or something. And action-packed trailer. Yeah, a lot of stunts that Tom Cruise did, and a lot of returning actors and actresses in it, which is a little weird. I know they kind of did that in Fallout, but previous to that, they never had a return. I guess they never had a return female character in any of the Mission Impossibles until they started returning the other that I forget her name. I completely blanked on it, but Rebecca Ferguson, I think her name is, and they're bringing back a lot of the previous actresses in that trailer. I thought that was the thing I noticed.
Yeah,
but did you guys watch it? What'd you think?
I haven't watched it. Gordon, Sarah, did you guys watch it? Or you guys didn't see it drop?
Catch it yet.
Okay, so I didn't watch.
Okay, we should have done a live trailer react then.
Yeah. So I didn't watch it because I figured they're gonna play it at the beginning of Top Gun Maverick anyway.
Yeah, maybe you'll get it
on
the big screen.
I'm gonna wait a second. And how are they ever gonna top the Henry Cavill arm reload in a trailer? Like I think I watched that trailer like a million times when that came out. I was like, look at this thing he does with his arms. This is the best trailer on the planet. So I don't know. I think I'll wait.
Yeah. yeah, I feel like Mission Impossible is kind of like the gold standard of action movies nowadays, the action franchise kind of quality in terms of action and story and entertainment. So, yeah, and Tom Cruise, like when you're watching the stunt, oh yeah, Tom Cruise actually did that kind of thing in a way, like because he's just that crazy. But yeah, anyways,
60.
go watch it.
Like it's crazy how old he is now.
Yeah,
he doesn't look it, but.
What do you think about What do you guys think about the name Dead Reckoning? It sounds like a zombie movie spinoff.
It was a video game, wasn't it?
There was Dead Rising. I guess you could.
No, not a zombie video game. What?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does sound familiar. I don't know. I'm just sick of these 2-part movies. Like, come on.
Yeah, I know.
Either release them as release them at the same time so that I don't have to wait. I don't have the attention span for this anymore.
Yeah, it depends on the gap, and if there is a legit kind of stop cliffhanger, and you're like, okay, now we got to wait 2 years before they release the next one. But yeah,
I'm with Scott. Like Dune. Why have I not seen a trailer for Dune 2? Come on. Come on. I shouldn't have watched it because now I'm just getting more and more angry every month that goes by.
I do miss movies that are sub 2 hour mark. So when I was queuing up Top Gun, I'm like 1 hour and 40 minutes. Sweet.
Yeah.
I have the attention span for 1 hour and 40 and I'm good.
Says the girl who just finished binge watching an entire show yesterday. And every time that screen comes up of are you still watching? Her response is, stop judging me. So judgy. Where's the remote? I don't know. We lost it hours ago. It's on one of the cats.
I feel like Netflix is the only, I think, service that shames you with that little. Are you still watching?
No. So does Prime. So does Crave. They're all.
Oh yeah.
I get judged by all equally.
The only one that's good is YouTube.
Yeah,
YouTube will play forever.
It'll just keep going.
It'll just keep full of ads. Yeah.
Ads.
Oh man.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he has premium. Don't worry. Yeah. No ads.
They got us with Cobra Kai season 1.
Big spender.
No, they got us with was the only way that
he's been subscribed since Cobra Kai season 1. We are now on season 3 or 4.
It's
right around the corner. So
it's completely off YouTube. It's on Netflix now.
Oh, yeah,
oh my god. All right, cool. Any last ones, Chris?
That's all I got.
All right, cool. Thank you for subbing in last minute for some news. I feel like I should throw one thing at you guys since I feel like we're okay for time. Give me a second. Let me just pull it up here.
So aside from movie news, all of the television stations in Canada, all of the major broadcasters, they're going to have their upfronts coming soon, which they'll be releasing what of the fall lineup they've purchased from the U.S. affiliates. So that'll be exciting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a nice change because all we're hearing is about cancellations right now. So it's kind of sad. Luckily, none of the shows that I kind of watch have been hit, but it kind of sucks to see these long running shows just all of a sudden come to an end. So it'd be nice to hear about the new shows coming out. Let me throw something at you guys. So there was an article published where Sylvester Stallone confirmed that he regrets making 6 movies of his career. I don't know if you guys can guess which 6 movies were on his list.
I swear, if Demolition Man is on, I'm gonna walk off.
No.
Okay, good.
There's a super easy one. I'll give it to you first. That's Stop or My Mom Will Shoot was on the list. A movie called Oscar. I don't know if you guys remember that one. Where I think he's the leader of a crime family or something, but it was a comedic take to it. Get Carter, which was this really kind of weird movie where he's an enforcer type. He had a big suit and sunglasses. Gord's trying to search his memory banks.
No. That was not a bad
I think it's a
movie.
remake. I think it's a remake, right?
Yeah, it's a remake of some classic movie. I remember it not being good, Gord. I think I bought it on DVD as well, hoping it was going to be good around that era. I don't recall it being good. Driven, which I think me and Chris must have watched.
Oh, we watched the crap out of that movie, yo.
Yeah.
With that new Formula One show on Netflix, man, that's probably going to be a classic, man.
Yeah. I don't know. I remember watching that and loving it, but for some reason he didn't like it. A movie called Detox, I never heard of it. And another movie called Rhinestone, I never heard of. Was there any other Sylvester Stallone movies that you would probably throw on that list that you were not happy with? Would you put Judge Dredd on there, Sarah?
Oh,
that was the bad one.
I didn't like that one. on, but
I liked Rob Schneider in Judge Dredd. I don't know. I found him funny.
He comes out of the garbage can with his spaghetti on his head.
Yeah.
I
He
feel
was
like
also
Rob
in
Schneider.
Demolition Man too. Remember that?
Yeah,
Three seashells. The three seashells.
Oh man, he was in Demolition Man too.
Yeah,
so he's worked with a lot of the greats. I remember he was in that Jean-Claude Van Damme movie called Knockoff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That no one actually remembers. You only remember the title and you remember that scene where his shoes explode. But anyways, okay. I just thought I'd throw that at you guys. But let's get on to our movie, Top Gun. Yeah. All right, so Top Gun. I should have pulled some more information about this movie, but Rob wasn't here. So let's talk. So 1986. The year is 1986. There's a couple other hits on the board. We're talking Karate Kid Part 2. Was out. Glory of Love, one of Sarah's favorite tracks. I'm sure went up against Take My Breath Away for the Academy Award. Take My Breath Away did win that, so it's a sad day for Karate Kid 2 fans. But it was directed by Tony Scott, produced by Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer, starring Tom Cruise. Yeah, Tom Cruise, Kelly McGillis, Val Kilmer, Anthony Edwards, Tom Skerritt, amongst other very familiar faces that we saw throughout the movie. Apparently only cost $15 million to make, which I thought was very surprising, but I guess the government or the Air Force or someone fronted the rest of the bill on that one and made a cool like 300 something plus hundred or million. I forgot to grab that voice clip of Dr. Evil, $1 million, which I was going to do the math, but I got lazy and see if that was a bigger payoff than My Big Fat Greek Wedding. So I'll have to pull that up later and see how close that came. So upon Top Gun rewatch, you guys, I don't know who. So Chris, I don't think you watched it originally when it came out. So it's probably pretty foggy for you. Sarah, Gord, did you guys remember your first time watching this? I think I only watched it at like a random family gathering. And I was still pretty young, so I don't recall much of it.
I would have only been 4, so I wouldn't have watched it in the theater, but I would have watched it probably with my brother or something years later, probably on VHS.
Yeah, on the rental, probably?
Yeah.
I was something like that. I couldn't remember the first time I seen it. I know I haven't seen it for a long time. I'll tell you that.
I definitely remembered it differently.
Yep.
Now that this is the first time watching it for probably over 2 decades, I remembered the movie a lot different than it actually was.
Okay, so most of you guys rewatched it for the first time in a long time, I guess. So let me jump to Chris first, and then we'll get Sarah and Gord to weigh in on their thoughts, overall thoughts of how this movie holds up now, watching it in 2022 on the verge of Top Gun Maverick coming out, the sequel. So Chris Ho, what do you think overall of this movie? Does it rest in the pantheon of 80s best 80s action movies?
Yeah, kind of like what you said. I hadn't watched it in a really long time. I probably watched it initially with you or with Dad or something like way back. Yeah. And then I hadn't watched it since, and I just watched it today for the first time in a long time. And yeah, I would describe it as your 60-year-old dad's favorite movie. Is how I would describe it. It has, jet fighter planes, like aviator sunglasses. It's got like guy motorcycle driving. 50% of it, more than 50% of it is filmed in a men's locker room. It's got like tons of
lot of
guys like content. Just in random scenes in like on the radio, just pouring sweat from I'm like, what's going on here? Like, did Tony Scott keep it like real hot on set? Like, anyways,
is this movie sweatier than Fast Five, Chris? Were there people sweating more than The Rock in this movie?
I don't know if The Rock's sweat content can be matched, but this one was pretty close. It was crazy to think. Anyway, these are like little things that you asked for my overall thoughts. Yeah, I thought it was okay. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't rank it like high in my like action film pantheon. I wouldn't even call it really an action film. I think it was more like a kind of like a sports movie, kind of like a lot of kind of practicing fighter jet fighting, not really much happening, and then the whole. And then you got the iconic. The soundtrack was amazing, obviously. And then, I thought it was okay. It was it's kind of peak 80s nostalgia, I would say, in my head.
Yeah. So okay. Thanks, Chris. A lot of elements going on in this movie. Gord, what are you thinking now, in 2022?
Like Sarah said, I had a Mandala effect. I don't remember what this movie was about. I guess or like I didn't know, or maybe I think. The one thing I do remember is like being really confused as a 14-year-old why they were flying planes in the Navy. Like, why did we have airplane pilots, but they were on boats? Now I sort of figured it out. I don't know. I felt like this movie didn't have a bad guy, or it had a fictional jet as a bad guy. I thought Val Kilmer was way more the bad guy in my memory of this movie than he actually was. Like, he wasn't bad at any point. He was just sort of like honest. He's like, "You're dangerous. I don't want to fly with you."
Exactly. Yeah.
It was weird. It was very bro-esque. I felt like the plot kept repeating as many times as some of the songs did, because I felt like there were like 4 songs in this soundtrack. Like the first third of the way through the movie, I was like, "This soundtrack's good," and then halfway through the movie, I'm like, "I've heard this before," and then by the end of it, I was like, "That song again?"
Well, yeah. It's like this is the jet fighting the song, and then this is the romance song, and then this is like the
there's like a 15-minute spot after he meets Charlie where you're hearing "Take My Breath Away" like maybe like every other scene, and by that time you're just like, all right, we get it. Okay, this is the song. Like, just move it along, please. Yeah.
I started counting the measures. Like, I wanted to go back and be like, how many times are they repeating this 1 8-bar, like, and then that 8-bar. Oh my god! Ooh, finally the interlude. The only thing that I really think this movie did better than anything else that I remember up until that point, and I think the reason why this movie has become so iconic, some of those shots of them walking up to the plane, or the plane's landing, or the plane's banking and having, you know, whatever it is, the condensation coming off the wings, like some of that, I don't remember ever seeing it before that. It made some of those, you know, fighter pilot movies it elevated that. I get, you want to call it a genre? I don't know, whatever it was. Like, there are so many movies I don't think we would have if it wasn't for Top Gun, but man, there was no plot in Top Gun. There was no plot to that movie.
Yeah. I kept saying, like, I had my fiance wasn't around, and I just kept saying to her, like, nothing's happening in this movie. Like, what's going on? Like, they're just practicing. You know, to quote the great Allen Iverson, "We're talking about practice, you know." Talk about practice, and then at the end they have the final thing. Yeah. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah. So among the demographic that does find kind of inanimate objects like cars and planes sexy, Sarah, did these planes do anything for you? What are your thoughts on this movie?
That was the best part of the movie, was the planes. Like, I love how Gord like pretty much said everything that I was saying during us watching the movie. But anyway.
Let me write these down as Sarah's going here.
But no, yeah, there was no plot. I remember it being kind of like a love story where, you know, the Charlie and Maverick get together, but then I watch it, I'm like, oh, slut teacher sleeping with Maverick on like the first like time she meets him. I'm like, okay. It's just, it wasn't what I remember. Val Kilmer I thought was always a bad guy. Like, Iceman was the total bad guy. When I saw Goose die, I was like, oh, well, spoiler alert, Goose dies.
Damn it, what?
I was like, wait a minute, that's in practice? Like, it wasn't even
during talking about practice.
Fight. And I'm like, wow, it's just really disappointing. And yeah, it was but the aircraft scenes were amazing. I really liked the way it was shot. I had no idea Tim Robbins was in the movie.
I forgot Meg Ryan was in it too.
I didn't realize that. And I just found something funny because now that I know how short Tom Cruise is, he's like 5'7", and then James Tolkien, or the guy from Back to the Future.
Guy from He-Man.
Yeah. So when they put him together, he looks so short compared to Tom Cruise. Like, nobody is like that short compared to Tom Cruise. So I looked it up, and it's like an inch difference. So I'm like, what boxes are they standing on in that film to make him look?
This is like pre Scientology Tom Cruise. No one, no one has to like stand on their knees, or he doesn't have like a box to stand on.
Yeah, it was crazy, but I thought that was funny. I did look up the whole sweating thing, because it was annoying. Gork was like, why are they sweating? And apparently, I guess they think it's a Tony Scott thing, because in Crimson Tides, everyone's really sweaty. It's supposed to like add dramatic effect. But yeah.
No, they were just sweating for the sake of sweating.
Yeah. It was so sweaty. Tom Cruise's first move when he gets to the date is, can I take a shower? That was his first move. That's his move, when he comes in there.
Who does that? That's kind of weird. I'm glad she did say, like, yeah, I mind.
You're late? All right. Who plays beach volleyball in jeans?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you put on a crisp white shirt right after you're done. It's like, okay.
We're gonna get to the volleyball scene. Don't worry. Okay, so the movie, I think the overall theming of the movie still works. The idea of this high level of competition, and then you have like your rival, and you're trying to like win this game. I think that really holds up well. I really like that element of the movie. But you're right. It kind of just keeps kind of treading in the same spot, and I think the lack of chemistry between Tom and the female lead really hurts the movie, especially now on the rewatch. So I don't know if there was anyone that could have replaced her. So let's talk a little bit about the cast, I guess, since we want to dive into it. Who do you really like from the cast of this movie? Did anyone? I know you guys have mentioned Meg Ryan. I think this is her first role. Tim Robbins. I think this is before he kind of blew up and became like the one of Sarah's favorites from Shawshank, right? So Sarah, any standouts in the cast that you had? You guys in the comments, let us know any special favorites.
First name Skerritt.
Yeah.
Tom
Skerritt,
I like him. I like his character, and I like the guy from Back to the Future. He always plays kind of the same character, but yelling and
like a principal from your high school, basically.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's about it.
I really liked his Tom Skerritt's look with the mustache. I think it's Tom Skerritt, right?
I like Val Kilmer's partner in it. His guy who rides. Who's his partner in it?
Slider.
Yeah, because he was just built the nicest during the volleyball scene. So.
Yeah.
he didn't even touch the volleyball. I don't think he just flexed the whole time. He's just like
the whole time. All right, Gord, any standout cast members for you?
Adrian Passard.
Yeah,
you guys are gonna be like, who?
Who?
Who? He was Chipper. I didn't even know he was in the movie, but he was one of the lead characters in that show, Heroes.
Oh yeah.
I had no idea. Like, to me, this movie was, oh my God, that guy was acting back then? That's amazing. I was looking for, like, who are the background characters? Because as soon as we realized Robbins was in it, I was like, wait, who else is in this? And then I go through that list, and I'm like, whoa, there are a lot of, like, they went on to be decent actors. But Adrian Passard is the one who you probably have no idea who he is, but
I think he was like Peter Petrelli or the brother. I forgot who the brother was in Heroes. I forgot.
Nathan, right?
Nathan. He was one of those guys.
He was the senator. Yeah, exactly. And I saw him when he was young, and I was like, wait, who is that? I know that guy.
Yeah. You can kind of see in his face, but very, very, very young. Chris Ho, who you like in this cast?
Yeah, you guys kind of mentioned already, but I felt Val Kilmer was really popped on screen. Like he, more so than Tom Cruise for sure. Like he had the coiffed hair, he had like the he's always chewing the gum, the jawline thing, and it's like I felt like he was like, I was like, this guy's setting up as the antagonist, but he's just like so much cooler than Tom Cruise. Like in this movie, I don't know. I just thought he had a cooler nickname too, like Iceman. It's like great nickname because his last name was the whatever the Iceman killer's last name. I guess that's why, right? But like I thought that was he kind of outshone just popping off the screen.
Everything about him when they show up at the random like weird looking bars they have in this movie, he's like wearing his aviators inside, and it's like pitch black. He's got the aviators on.
He does the take off the sunglasses for emphasis, like you say something, which is like a great move in any movie, I think. Yeah.
And he wears it even during the classroom scene where all the lights are dark. And he's sunglasses on.
There's a weird exchange in the first time you see him, like when they're talking to the teacher's talking in the classroom, and Tom Cruise, he's in the front of the class. He just looks back and he just stares right at Val Kilmer's character, and they like lock eyes and they're like kind of smiling at each other. I'm like, what is happening here? Why would you do that to somebody in the middle of the class when the guy's talking? The first time you ever meet him, you just kind of stare him down like that. It was I don't know. It seemed like kind of like they were kind of like that was the love story they were setting up or something.
Take My Breath Away song.
Someone should. There's probably one exists out there, but a recut of the movie where it's them two having the romance, not him and Charlie.
I was gonna say if you could replace the female lead, Kelly McGillis, maybe you just make Iceman or Val Kilmer's part larger and show more of the rivalry, and then this bromance, and then at the end they have that and like who does he's like you he's like you.
I have 3 candidates.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Let's hear it, Sarah.
I have Sandra Bullock.
She would have been a baby.
No.
How old was Sandra Bullock back then? She was like
she's the same age as
Tom
Tom
Cruise.
Cruise.
really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, she looks.
I
good, too.
did my background. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
You even showed me pictures from 1986.
Yeah,
Demi
she's
Moore.
got that kind of. Okay.
And
Demi-
Jamie
Demi
Lee
what?
Curtis is actually the same
Jamie
age
Curtis.
as Kelly at that.
Oh.
So those are me.
Okay. I like your Jamie Lee Curtis because she can play like she could do the school the teacher look because she did it in True Lies and a lot of her other stuff. What are your thoughts?
I like the Demi Moore pick. I like Sarah Demi Moore pick was really good. I was just gonna because I didn't know I don't know who was popular back then. My two suggestions. One was Molly Ringwald and the other one was Nicole Kidman. Were the only two I could think of.
Nicole Kidman. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Brooke Shields was in the running back in the day.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay, yeah, that would have worked.
That might have. Yeah. Anyone but this girl. I don't know why this girl just didn't work. I don't know if it's just on the rewatch or at the time it looked good.
Well, they did say they wanted a no one, like an unknown.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I guess relative unknown, but yeah. Yeah.
Still to this day.
I think she's in a movie with Harrison Ford that people generally actually really like her in, The Witness or something like that, which I have to add to my to watch this. What's up, Scott? I see Scott's in the chat. Is anyone familiar with Iron Eagle? We had a question from Wildman Beyond. Iron Eagle or Top Gun? I don't remember Iron Eagle at all. I remember the poster for it. Gord seems to remember some of it.
Oh yeah, and it's funny because I would need to go back and rewatch Iron Eagle now.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it like when I was a kid being like Top Gun was so much better. I don't think that anymore. I have a feeling that Iron Eagle was a much better play.
How much of Iron Eagle was in a men's change room though?
Not nearly as much. I'm glad you suggested that because now I realize like I don't want to.
Okay, how much of it was actually a men's change room though? Maybe they were just wearing their
Every other
towels
scene
around.
was in a men's change
every
room.
other scene was in one of those, either the change room or the locker room for their flight gear. You know what I mean? Like
they would
but there
fly
were way
and
too
then
many
come
scenes
back.
of him in a toilet.
I'm gonna say I've never even seen Iron Eagle, but I'm gonna go Iron Eagle because Johnny from Cobra Kai likes Iron Eagle.
Oh, okay.
There you go. I'm gonna go with Johnny's choice there.
Oh yeah, I think we'll have to save the Iron Eagle Top Gun head to head for when we rewatch Iron Eagle. So Scott says
Stop shouting, Scott.
He's all caps. Maybe he's doing some data entry or something like that. Everyone always.
Maybe we needed to have Scott on because we're all neg on this. We're all negative on this movie.
I still think this movie is great, but we're gonna make fun of it. So okay, let's move on. What was your favorite call sign of the movie? Chris Ho, did you have your favorite call sign? I think that's one of the appeals of this movie too. Back in the day when you're kids growing up, no other movie did this. No one had like these.
Well,
weird
my name
nicknames.
my name is Slider, but I like Iceman the best. But that I thought for sure John would pick Iceman. You know, his email address is cool as ice. But
it was my choices back in the day. I was either Iceman or the Vanilla Ice Cool as Ice, and I went with Vanilla Ice.
Yeah. I'll go with the obvious one, Iceman. I think Iceman was the coolest one. Yeah.
Iceman, it's pretty hard, and it describes the character like when they're like, oh, he doesn't crack, he does everything precisionally. Gord, who's your favorite call sign in the movie?
If there is anybody who knew me in middle school watching this right now, like if you guys are thinking Goose, I'm gonna kill you. I know you are, because that was a nickname of mine from like 6th grade to 8th grade, but whatever. No, Viper was the coolest. That call sign is just awesome. Yeah. See, there you go. Viper.
Yeah. Viper's pretty good. Sarah,
although
did you have
I gotta
a favorite?
say, you gotta watch the actual first like 3 minutes of the credits to see the actual Navy pilots.
They scroll past
all the
real
like
names.
there were just ridiculous call signs in that list, but that's for later. What was your favorite call sign?
Iceman. But I also like, I guess not for a woman, but I liked Cougar. So as a guy, Cougar's okay. For a girl, no.
It's like it's like a cat, right? It's like a lion or something, right? It's of that family, right?
Yeah.
No, a mountain lion is a cougar. It's named it. It's the largest cat in North America. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. I like Sundown for some reason. I just thought it sounded kind of cool and ominous. Onimus or whatever you want to call it. A shout out for another one from Wildman. He does mention the NES Top Gun game. I don't know if you guys remember this at all, but this is the game you would play and you would shoot planes down, and then when you had to go and refuel, you would have to try and line up the thing, and you would just always die. I don't know if anyone ever got past that part.
My brother did. Me, no. I gave up on that real fast.
I had one of just the little handhelds that was just Top Gun, so it was terrible. It was like you'd take off, it'd be that one shot of you taking off, and then basically.
I remember those. Yeah, those old Tiger Electronics, and they'd have a Double Dragon one, and all you did was your arm would move and stuff like that. Those were terrible.
Yeah, they were
terrible games.
Horrible.
How far we've come. Lou says he likes Jester. I do like Jester too, but I feel like he wasn't funny. So you think Jester was in reference to something else? Like he wasn't cracking jokes. So I was like, why is this guy's nickname?
The writers were trying.
Serious,
They couldn't come up with a normal plot, let alone a joke for Jester.
All right, okay. So let's get into favorite scenes, because I think this is where we're gonna have the most fun. And I'm gonna bring up the most. I think it's unanimously the best scene in the whole movie. I guess we're all gonna say is the volleyball scene. But I've got a couple questions for Chris Ho. So Chris Ho, my brother, the avid volleyball player. I just want to ask you a couple quick questions about volleyball. Sure. So this is like a 2-on-2 super spike V-ball style match. What would the equivalent of the position that Maverick's playing? Would he be like a Michael Jordan type or something like that? I don't know if there's any terminology in volleyball for that.
Typically with beach, you have one really tall person that's the blocker, and then you have one shorter person who would more likely pass or be a specialist in that. But they end up serving the tall person. So, anyways, I won't get into that. I would just say it's just a regular, maybe.
Yeah. So should Tom Cruise be the spiker guy? And does that mean that net was regulation height or not?
That's what I said. I'm like, how much did they pull that down?
Yeah. So
there's no way.
The first spike Tom does, and it's pretty egregious, is that he touches the net on his spike and then celebrates like he won the Super Bowl. So it's like, dude, you just you lost that point because you touched the net. You're not supposed to touch the net when you spike it. So it's like dunking the ball, but like elbowing the guy in the face while you're doing it, and you get called like on an offensive foul and then celebrating. So yeah, that was kind of egregious. I would say.
Okay, so your next option is they do some no-nos, and I think Gord or Sarah already brought it up. Would you rather play volleyball in full jeans, or at one point Maverick is checking his watch? Would you rather play volleyball wearing a watch, which seems like a big no-no, right?
I would say, well, first of all, they obviously knew they were playing volleyball because Goose was all decked out in proper gear for volleyball.
Yeah, his hands were taped and everything. Yeah,
cut off, like he was good. So what Maverick was wearing was totally uncalled for, and I would prefer not to wear a watch because then if it hits the watch, it'll go boom.
Yeah, it might mess up when you're doing a underhand pass, but like the jeans are probably the I would say more egregious because like you can't move in those things, man, and they're gonna get like super dirty. You're not gonna wear them. Like, I guess you can go on a date after and have to shower right away, but I mean, like, it's gonna be bad. It's not gonna work out.
Everything was filmed in the locker room. You might as well just worn whatever underwear he was wearing.
Yeah.
Like, that's what
Gord is very, very accomplished bike rider. If I said let's have a race, and I said, but you have to wear some tidy Levi's Stratus jeans, can I possibly win this race?
Jeans from the 80s? Yeah, no way. Because now all the spandex, whatever jeans, it's a little bit of a different story. But
jeggings.
But like back then, no way. Those things would have been horrible. You ever sweat in jeans? I couldn't imagine anything worse than being at the beach in jeans trying to play sports. Like.
Yeah, I don't think that was a beach. I don't know if you guys noticed. I think what they did is they filled a parking lot with tons of sand, and they just filmed it on the lot. Is my understanding of what happened.
Southern California.
One thing I would say is
I actually thought they meant the country until she pointed it out. I was like,
Miramar.
was it Miramar at that point?
Yeah.
Weimar? I thought it was Burma still in the 80s. I don't know. But then she pointed out it's Southern California. I'm like, oh, it makes a lot more sense.
Okay, so yeah, definitely the volleyball scene is amongst our favorite scenes. But let me ask you guys, do you have another favorite scene from the movie? Let's go with Chris O first, and then work our way around.
Yeah, well, my favorite, I guess they're just shots, like Gord mentioned it earlier, when the planes are taking off at dawn and you have like the silhouettes and things like that. Those were like my favorite visual parts of the movie. But There's one scene that's really, I guess it's my favorite scene for the wrong reasons, is when Charlie gives Maverick a bad review, and then he's really butthurt, and he's like walking out, and he just drives off on his motorcycle, doesn't say a word to her, and then Charlie proceeds to follow him in her like little car and runs like a red light, almost killing like 10 people just to catch up to him. And then this will tie into my favorite quote, which was for the wrong reasons too. And then she just basically professes that she's falling for him in the most weird way possible. And that whole scene I just thought was hilarious, maybe for the wrong reasons. I don't think that's what they were going
I was going to say that
was
the unintentional
one scene in the movie where I was laughing out loud. Yeah.
Anyway. When I saw that scene, I was like, scene 5 clinger right there. Like, get away from her.
And the jet hit the afterburners. No.
Right? Yeah.
Keep on going, Cruz.
Should be fired for being with a student.
But then again, what government agency pays enough that she could be driving that little Porsche Speedster?
I was like, that's a pretty good. And her house is amazing too. Like, it's like right on the beach. I'm like, damn, this civilian contract work is pretty sweet.
Unless she's just overlooking the lot.
Yeah. The beach volleyball lot in the park.
That one scene where he drives away on the motorcycle, I think that was the same scene. They just used it twice.
I think so. Yeah, they probably cheated. Gord, do you have a favorite scene other than volleyball?
Closing credits.
No, the inverted.
No,
When he does watch the birdie and he does that. That's a pretty awesome scene.
Yeah. So for me, that one shot, it makes the whole movie worth rewatching, which is when Tom Cruise is walking up to the F-14 that was all strapped down onto the deck. And it was like the yellow sunset, and like just that shot is so iconic. And I hate to say it, but like the montage at the opening credits with all of the stuff coming off all the planes landing, all the planes taking off, all that stuff. When I think back on this movie and what it meant, that it was like, because I grew up in the U.S., it was like that's what America does. Crab cake and football and jets and football.
Yeah. If you're not standing with your hand on your heart on that scene, you're not American.
Yeah, right. Like. And so I have a much different lens now, obviously. But like at the time, man, growing up in the US, like, that movie that was awesome. We had the best. Even the new MiGs weren't better than our pilots. Like, all that fun stuff.
Oh man. All right. Sarah, any scenes you want to shout out?
No, I have the inverted scene. I like that one. There's not much else, to be honest with you. Like all the flying scenes, of course, but like other than anything that's not in a plane, not really.
How about Goose pulling out a Polaroid camera for that move? That was
in a jet. Really? That's the technology you have to rely on. Polaroids.
Hey, I was made the joke, like, for sure, if you do that in real life, you're definitely whipping out your cell phone and taking a quick pic of this guy inverted upside down. But
no, every time they'd fly the tower, they'd buzz the tower, and that guy would just be handed a coffee. I was like, how are you going to set this one up? Oh, he's getting handed a coffee right now.
Yeah. That actually leads into my next joke, which would be this guy gets his coffee spilt at least twice. And then in the office, he's like arguing with the guy, and then he bumps into another guy that they fill with a whole tray of coffees and stuff, which is a pretty funny gag. Yep. Do you guys have an idea of what could possibly be funnier than this guy spilling his coffee? I don't know if like a bunch of papers on a desk just fly off or anything. Chris, you got anything that would be funnier than this guy spilling his coffee 3 times?
I don't know if it would be funny, but what came into mind would be like he's talking to some girl, and then the plane flies by, and then he has a toupee on, and it just flies off. It's great. That would be my my best bit I could make out of that. But the coffee one's still pretty good.
Yeah. Gord, do you have anything that you think would be maybe funnier than
the windows breaking? But that would make sense. Like obviously, but you could break them with an F-14 probably. But they would. You would hope that they wouldn't. But that would have been crazy. Like every time he flies past one of the towers, he shatters the windows or something. Then you'd understand why he's getting in so much trouble for it.
Didn't that happen in Airplane? Was that the gag in Airplane? Because I think I remember them like putting up new glass.
New glass, and then he gets broken. That'd be a pretty good gag. They put in the new glass, and he like signs for it and everything, and then Maverick does it again, and it shatters again. That's a pretty good one. I would say add on top of that, Gord, that he's also making a salad, and the glass gets in the salad, and he's got to try and like get the glass out so he can finish his salad.
Wearing a towel after a shower. The towel goes on.
They were going to spike the volleyball, and he just like flies over, knocks the ball off the court.
Yeah. Sarah, did you have anything that you thought would be funnier that would have made you spit out your drink or something? Maybe he was shaving.
No.
Tom Cruise didn't look old enough to shave, let alone drink in this movie.
I question what he was doing at that sink when the guy comes up and is like, "You got to let Goose go. He's dead. He's dead." He's just sitting at the sink. I'm like, "You're not shaving because he's got like a baby face." Yeah. So I don't know what he's doing. He's just playing with the water in the sink.
What was he about to shave?
Yeah.
Okay. One thing about that, I watched it 4K version when I rewatched it, and Tom Cruise had a heavy unibrow in that. No.
Wait, there's a 4K version of this movie?
Well, I don't know. It's probably just upscaled, but I mean, like, that's the one I found. But yeah, I looked at it. I'm like, this guy's got like a crazy unibrow this whole movie. I'm like wondering why they didn't address that, but maybe they just didn't see it.
This is before.
I don't remember it in a long time, but I like that movie. I remember liking that movie. I think it's funny.
I probably remember Hot Shots more than I remember Top Gun.
Like, I feel like most of us. Yeah, I feel like most of you guys probably would have saw Hot Shots before you saw Top Gun.
Yeah.
Would have been my guess. Yeah.
I even remember the sequel. It was like part 2, the Hot Shots part 2.
I remember the scene where I think he like cooks an egg on the girl's stomach or something like that.
Yeah.
Which actually is kind of sexier than the actual scene in this movie. So I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
What the hell
when they freeze Saddam Hussein like the Terminator and shatters.
Oh man! Yeah, I actually looked away during the kiss scene. It was kind of awful.
It was so bad.
It was really cringe. It was super cringe. Like just like
it was right.
This is like too much.
It's like eating your face.
It was a really bizarre scene. So I guess no one else has got any other. Everyone wants to talk Hot Shots now. So I guess that'll cover. I do like the exchange. There's one point where they go up in the air and they're like, "Oh crap, Merlin's in here" or something like that. And then Maverick makes the joke. He's like, "Oh, Merlin's probably like, oh crap, it's Maverick and Goose or whatever." I thought that was really funny way of these guys like kind of like just showing that they're buddies and they're just messing around. Like, I like all those scenes where they're basically going into the simulation or the training exercise, even though Goose dies at the end. Yeah, practice when they're practicing. I think those are great. Those are great scenes, and that kicks in that I don't know what song they kept using. I don't know if it was the Cheap Tricks song or the
Danger Zone
or the was it just they just kept playing the intro to Danger Zone every time. I don't remember.
Intro song, I think.
Yeah. All right, so let me ask, what was your favorite song from this movie then, since we heard them so many times? Gord, I'll let you go first. What's your favorite track from this?
Highway to the Danger Zone. That's like, especially, I think that song became more iconic because of Archer.
Yeah.
But like now when I hear it, I'm like, yeah, it's still really good. Still, that part still holds up.
Yeah. Sarah?
Yeah, that song.
Danger Zone.
It's like my in my workout song. Yeah, I do like that one.
Yeah. Chris Ho, you got a favorite?
Yeah, well,
favorite song?
The consensus is probably Danger Zone, but I would say shout out to, I guess the main theme is pretty good, like what they call the anthem. Just that riff, just that one, I guess, guitar riff, and then you don't need to do it over and over again. Just do that one a couple times, and then you're good. Like they kind of
and then it just fades out. Just start the intro, and then just fade out.
They super overdid it, but yeah, I do like that riff. It's kind of nostalgia as soon as you hear it. Yeah. But that's probably the runner-up to obviously Danger Zone.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, that was on. There were actually not gonna lie, there were a couple of songs in there where I was like, I didn't know the song was in there. And me from like late 80s, I sure didn't realize that some of those songs, but if you guys go back and actually listen, when Tom Cruise is talking about something when he's on his date, sitting on the dock of the bay
showering. He's always talking about showering.
He doesn't take the shower, right? He asks her to take the shower. And
that's when they have sex,
right? No. She's like, no. And then they have the discussion. And then he leaves to go take the shower, right?
No, then he goes and has the shower so that they can have sex.
The
this
first
is before.
date.
This is the first time they meet.
He just splits on the first date, I think. He goes, I'm going to go take a shower, and he splits.
It's
or something.
the next morning.
He thinks it's the next morning.
Oh, that's interesting.
The next morning, he goes back to base and showers again.
All right, chat. What did he do? We need
because it's kind of a weird sequence. I think I know exactly what Coach's talking about. He asked to shower.
I like you. He's like, I like you too. He's like, I'm gonna go take that shower now, and she's like, oh, and then it's the next morning. Come on, like he's clearly.
I think it's a separate. I don't think they get it on until later.
I think the first time they do it is that
elevator. They have totally banged. They have totally banged by that elevator scene, and that was the next morning. She's like, "Seems you took another shower," and he's like, "I did." Come on, really?
I don't know about that.
Shot.
Okay. Do you guys think the new soundtrack has any chance of topping this? It's got a Lady Gaga song. It's got a One Republic song. What do you think, Chris Ho?
I don't think I'm all about old music, you know that. So I don't think any new thing would.
So it can't quite hit this 80s this 80s nostalgia drug for the music track. All right. Let's see one more thing then, I guess, folks, since I can't believe no one was really feeling this movie. But quote wise, do you guys have
wrong
a favorite?
People, John.
Yeah. I guess maybe it appeals to the older crowd. That's
look. I have a Top Gun shirt. I bought this before I rewatched it. I thought it would. I just remember it being really good, and then I watched it today, and I was like, "What? Nothing's happening in this movie. What the hell?"
Oh my god. Okay. Do you guys have favorite?
It's very good. When it used to be called Top Gun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right.
There are some really good quotes from this movie.
My favorite quote is probably just because it's still used today. I would say, I think I have used it on occasion. Is "Talk to me, Goose." Like sometimes that's just something people will say. So that's obviously one that's stayed there.
Yeah. Gord, do you have a favorite line?
I feel the need.
Yeah.
The need
for
speed.
Speed.
Yeah. That still gets said occasionally on a bicycle.
Yeah. Chris Ho, I don't know if is one of your favorite lines from Iceman. I really like when he's the sniffing. He's like, we all really like Goose. And then he does, and then he takes like
that's his consolation to him. Yeah, we all really like
Goose.
We don't give a shit about
Everybody
you.
really like Goose.
Yeah.
You're a scumbag, but we really like Goose.
Anything Val Kilmer said was great. The end line was pretty good. I like that. You can be my wingman anytime. And then he's like, bullshit, you can be mine. And then they hug. Yeah, bro hug. At the end. Very nice.
Hug with dicks on the end of it. Like, bro hug.
Yeah, like really, we're best friends now. Yeah.
Really pull him in. Yeah.
But yeah, my favorite quote is, I actually pulled it, and it's from that scene I mentioned earlier. I just read it because it's so bad. Is what did he say? Like Charlie's talking to Maverick about like how she gave him the battery, and then kind of like because that is right, but I held something back. I see something real genius in your flying, Maverick, but I can't say that I can't say that in there. I was afraid that everyone in the tax trailer would see right through me, and I just don't want anyone to know that I've fallen for you. Laughing so hard.
And I think that's when they go back to her apartment after that scene.
I was
I was laughing out loud that whole time. It was just so bad.
I totally forgot. That was my favorite unintentional comedy scene. But maybe if the delivered or slightly tweaked,
she runs that stop sign like pretty recklessly.
Yeah. She almost dies. She almost straight up dies. And Maverick so much he jumps off and he's like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" So let me address. Thank you, Wildman Beyond, for this super chat. So he's talking about he's looking forward to the sequel. But what bugs him is the Danger Zone is back, but you replace Berlin's "Take My Breath Away" with a Lady Gaga song. Nothing against her, but you can't have romance in Top Gun without Berlin. Yeah. So I think it has been kind of semi-spoiled that Danger Zone is back in. I think Kenny Loggins popped onto social medias or something. I don't follow him normally, but I did see him post up the Danger Zone is returning. But Lady Gaga's like, do you think this new song is going to be the new Shallows for Top Gun?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
No,
yeah,
I'll just say no.
No. Yeah, the song's called like "Hold My Hand." I guess it's going to be the romantic, but yeah, I wonder why they wouldn't bring back "Take My Breath Away." I feel like it's due for a dance remix or something like that.
Even all they need is that that synthesizer keyboard.
Yep.
That
Don't even have words. Yeah, just do that.
But then again, they probably played it so many times in the original that
this is also true.
You just can't do it again. It should be like the closing credits songs.
Yeah. So, yeah. Hell no. Yeah.
One-liners though in this movie, like it's classified. I'd tell you, but then I'd have to kill you.
Yeah. There's the one your ego's writing checks your butt or your body can't catch. That's a great one too. Yeah.
You could put that on a shirt and or on your desk at work or something and just be like
I also just like the way Goose responds to things. So like when the captain or whatever was saying to him, you're even lucky to be here, Goose. He's like, thank you, sir.
He's just basically being carried by Maverick. Yeah. Everyone knows it, and he's just like, yeah.
I think they come out one time and he's like, "Thanks, Maverick. That was great." Kind of like, "Thanks a lot." That was like awesome, Maverick. Thank you so
Val
much.
Kilmer calls him Mother Goose. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Here's the question: Is Maverick's character, is he likable in this movie? Like, is he like?
No.
Like, what about him? Like that?
I think he's a talented hotshot. He's like extremely talented. Like all the higher ups are kind of like, yeah, he's a brilliant fighter, but he's got like this chip on his shoulder. Yeah. And then they kind of introduce that whole element, like he's got a father that he's trying to live up to or something like that. So
his father like scuttled a jet or something. That's a plot hole if you've ever heard of one. And then like they start working it in, like maybe Viper knows him, and then Viper's like, "Your old man." And that was it. No details, no nothing.
Yeah.
Writing movies in the 80s must have been awesome. They did like 3 post-it notes worth of an idea, and they're like, "Here's $15 million." And then the director's like,
"Does he look good in sunglasses? Does he look good riding a bike? Okay, go."
Can you run? Oh, Tom Cruise. Oh, yeah. If you guys, so actors have to put like their special skills, like can you sword fight? Can you do this? Tom Cruise should have throwing things removed from his special skills, because when he throws away those dog tags at the end of the movie, it's the worst throw. Seriously, just go back, fast forward right to the very, very end of the movie, and just watch that.
It's a really weird throw.
It's so weird. It's so bad.
I find it funny, like in the cockpit when he's like having his moment of like whatever, when he has them in his hand, like are like. Planes have room for stuff to like don't your hands need to be doing stuff when you're flying a plane? And then one guy's got a Polaroid camera, one guy's got like the dog tags. Like I feel like you should be doing more than just holding things.
Even when you get into a slightly smaller car, you're already kind of like, and then they're in like a jet, so you're kind of like, how is he getting like? Imagine if those dog tags are in his pocket. Have you ever tried to get something out of your pocket when you're in the drive-thru in your car?
Yeah.
And you're like, hold on a second.
You can't get in your pockets when you're sitting
any of that stuff. If you were I bet you if you were wearing dog tags as a pilot, you would probably end up with serious damage to your neck when you're pulling Gs. Like they've got to have something else. I don't think any of that stuff is loose inside that cockpit. Because the minute that plane banks and turns, that stuff's gonna go all over the place.
Like I don't know much about fighter plane piloting or whatever. Like I found they were doing a lot in the action sequence, like going, "Oh my god, what's going on?" Like, are you really turning your head to look visually when you're flying a plane to look at things like that?
I think so, because radar sucks.
Okay,
there's one MiG out there.
I just found that weird.
God,
yeah,
good job.
Like his way of finding things in this super high tech plane, like top of the line, is to go, where is the thing? Like, look back.
That's that guy's job, I think. And not to disrespect him or anything, but it did look kind of humorous. But yeah, I feel like if you're going that fast, once
what are you gonna see? Yeah.
Once something disappears, it's gone. Like if you're not right next to each other, oh my god, it must be impossible. But yeah, we'll have to maybe one day look up what exactly. I think the term was ROI, radar operator something.
It's what R2D2 does for Luke.
Yeah, right? but his head's on a swivel.
Oh yeah,
so he gets everything.
maybe the RO guy should be facing the other direction. That might help.
Yeah. Okay, so let's wrap up the 86 movie and let's talk a little bit about the new movie. What are your expectations going into the new movie? How much of this old movie do you think is going to be represented in this new movie? I think the only confirmed cast returning is Val Kilmer and Tom Cruise. Chris Ho, are you hyped for this at all? I know I'm like number one on the hype train right now. I'm pulling a Rob, going crazy following this one.
I watched the trailer before I rewatched it, and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be hype. It's gonna be just like the old one. Great." Now that I watched the old one, I hope it's very different. And I hope, you got a different version of Tom Cruise. I think nowadays, like he's more charismatic. He's a little more self-aware.
Oh, this is very different. Yeah, Tom Cruise doesn't even play romantic interests now, right?
No.
That's
He's gonna be the elder statesman trying to teach these cocky kids how to learn or how to fly. Learn how to fly. Foo Fighters. But anyways, I think it'll have. I feel like it'll try to be more accessible to the general audience. Like they're not just going to be flying planes, not explaining things. They're going to find some way to explain exactly what they're doing, and it's still going to be flight school, so it's going to be practice. I think maybe they'll have some stakes at the end or something, but I imagine it'll be a little more accessible to the general audience and a little more action packed, in a way that people understand. Anyways. Yes, go ahead, Gord.
You say steaks or snakes?
Maybe both. Snakes on a plane?
Yeah. I wouldn't be upset if Miles Teller's plane had a bunch of snakes in it. I think it would be great.
Oh, man. Gordon, Sarah, any expectations for the new movie?
No, but I really do like Miles Teller, and I do like John Hamm. So I hope they're in it quite a bit. And I do have some expectations because I know that I think I read something or I heard something about Tom Cruise say that, he wasn't going to make this movie unless he had a script that was something, worth it. And so to come back and do this movie, I feel you have to be pretty confident about it to kind of go back in and do it because it's such an iconic movie, right?
I think this movie is going to be incredible.
Yeah,
I have such high hopes for this movie because, I don't think Tom Cruise, like she was just saying, I don't think Tom Cruise would come back and do this, and I don't think they would have gone through the trouble of getting them in the pilot seats. I feel like this is going to be another one of those movies where they really do change. Something comes along that changes how all flight sequences need to be filmed from now on, or they're going to be compared against this movie for at least another decade. I have enough faith in Tom Cruise, especially considering that they've had this in the can for how long and we've heard nothing about it. I bet you this is really good, or at least that's what I'm going to go in there hoping.
Yeah.
I think I'm actually more excited to see this than Doctor Strange. That's.
We should always go on with low expectations.
I can't help myself. I'm so optimistic.
I think despite what you think of Cruise, he has honed his craft over the decades of him being pretty much the biggest
Mission Impossibles that he somehow made walkable.
Yeah. If Rob was here, I would definitely make fun of the quality of the Mission Impossible franchise over the
horrible,
James Bond.
But have you not watched them? You've watched them. Yeah. I've watched them. Sometimes I think they have better stunt sequences up until I think what Tom Cruise brought to that franchise forced the Bond movies to step up.
Yeah.
And they do something slightly different, but they do it so well that it's almost like it is impossible. It's never actually going to happen. And I hope that he brings something like that to this new movie and that it'll take our breath away.
Yes.
John Hamm.
Mic drop. Yeah.
I don't know if we can top that. That was amazing. I don't know if I can top that, but thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you guys for coming on for this. I was gonna do lost that loving feeling gag at the end, but I think Gord just stole the show with that one. That was amazing.
It's already over. That moment.
No, look at Sarah's face already. I'd be like, hey Gord, I think Sarah's lost that loving feeling.
Oh, sorry. No. No.
No. Okay, Sarah's not into it. What I should have did is I should have pulled the lyrics for Playing with the Boys and got
That's a good song.
Is it a good song? Have you listened to the lyrics?
Oh, I don't know. It's a good
okay, look up the lyrics other than the chorus, and the song is absolutely hilarious. So that should appear in the new movie. We'll see what happens. Anyways, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for joining us. Sorry Rob couldn't be here. We'll have to try and figure out what is going on next week. But maybe we'll have to do a substitution. So I'll be calling you guys up. So thank you everybody for joining us. We will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for hanging out with us.